Hey, you guys, welcome to the Ultra Life podcast or the Ultra Life show if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you didn't know, yes, there is a YouTube channel, so go check that out and you can see me and any of these videos or interviews live. Okay, and if you're my podcast folks, I love you guys too. I'm a podcast junkie, so I totally get it. It's so easy I listen to them while I'm running, while I'm walking, while I'm cleaning. I love them. So thank you all for listening wherever you are listening and tuning in today. And if you've been following along recently on the podcast, you know that I've been doing a lose 7 pounds in 7 weeks summer fun challenge. So here we are for myself. I'm starting week 4. Crazy. So that means 3 more weeks to go. And we are right on track here. And this is going to be a pivotal time, these next 3 weeks, because these first few weeks going into it, and I really want to share this because whether you're, doing your own 7 pounds in 7 weeks challenge or your own weight loss journey or your own XYZ, whatever health and fitness, truly whatever goal it is that you have, when we get started, there is generally some slow messiness to getting started, right? I don't know about you guys, but like I would venture to say that maybe 1% of the population at best would be like, I'm going to, this is my plan, this is my goal, and just like hits the ground running and does it perfectly the first time around, that first week, those first few weeks, heck, even the first few months. Most of the time, it doesn't work that way, right? So I've been getting great results overall. And it's also been a little, there's been, you guys, if you listen to the last few podcasts, you've heard, oh, but these are my lessons and these are my learnings. This is where I failed. This is where I was not perfect, because we are humans. Even myself, who's super motivated, right, is not going to be perfect in following through on the plan. I always say, be a B student. And if you are hitting your plan at 80%, that is winning, because that is something you can do consistently when life happens, right? So that's what's been going on is I've had my plan. I've been following it rough about 80%. And every single week I've been evaluating to see what's working, what's not working, what do I want to do different? So let's just start in with so if you're just tuning in or in general, so my start weight was 138 pounds. And now I am weighed in this morning and it was 135.1 pounds, which if you were kind of following along my stories there on social media, I was a little bit less than that midweek. I think it was like 134.7. So it went up just a little bit since then. And first and foremost, not a problem. I'm not freaking out over here. I'm giving myself grace. I'm like, okay. And that is why I say this is really going to be a pivotal week. And these next few weeks are going to be very pivotal in me having to make some little bit more tweaks and changes to really see like the 134 on this scale next week. Okay. So these first few weeks, I had some more grace. There was more give. There was a little more leeway for the tacos and the beer and for, chocolate or some days of overeating myself, right? It's okay. So, but I'm still here. I'm still basically down a full 3 pounds since when I started. So I'm right on track. Okay. So here is where I want to give you guys my evaluation so you can see literally like we're doing this together, right? Like I'm sharing all of the like actual week to week what I'm doing. So when I look at what worked, my overall plan is still working, which was and actually, so it was like no chips, no mayo, less carbs, higher protein was really my focus this last week. And then also like not the last couple weeks, it was really like honing in on my fueling for training, not overeating. Sometimes in training, and maybe you've experienced this when you're like, oh, I've worked out, or I did a long run, or I did XYZ, and we think like we deserve, quote unquote, more to eat, or I just have this very like fuel my body type of mentality to where I'm like, I should eat something pre-workout. I should eat something during my workout. I should eat something after my workout. Some shoulds. And now there literally are training principles, and I do need to eat to fuel. But I checked in and saw that was, I think, what really has been helping working overall is I'm actually eating less. I'm fueling less for the workouts in a sense that like I was overeating before for my workouts. And when I say overeating, you guys, I am not, I think a lot of the times I want your takeaway to be like, I'm not talking like gorging myself overeating. I'm talking like maybe I have like a half peanut butter and jelly and some, a handful of some dark chocolate things, or I had a bar before a workout when I didn't really need it, or even half a bar. So that's what I'm talking about. Like I know, that's so subjective. Well, what does that mean, overeating? And especially as an athlete, like I do need to fuel my body for these workouts, but I can look myself in the mirror and say, okay, I was definitely gotten into a mode of like where I was having too much pre or post workout fueling. So that has gotten much better. I really started to nail in my nutrition for my training and really start to be like curious and be like, okay, how much fuel do I actually need to fuel these workouts and fuel my body? Right. So it's been pretty much daily checking in with myself to do that too. That's not just like I made a plan and said, oh, I'm just not going to eat, or I don't need that. It's like, nah, I'm like trying it one day. Okay, that worked. Trying it the next day. No, that didn't work. Okay. That it's a daily progress to figure that out. So I really want you guys to hear this, because I think, again, that can be a big hindrance is we think too macro, and we're like, well, this is the plan and like it should just work, even if it's from a professional or somebody who's gotten the results that I want. It's like, hold on a second. We are all our own scientist and experiment of N of one. So as much as I could literally give you your best plan based on where you're at and what you tell me for your life-based nutrition and workouts, here you freaking go. You still have to do the day-to-day work to see, does it work? Like, are you getting the results for what you want? And if you're not, then there needs to be tiny tweaks, just like I'm making, right? Okay, so, yeah, and then I think the final thing of what's working kind of along those lines, and was a part of my original plan, was like less snacking, which I think usually my snacks were like more of like pre-workout fuel when I didn't necessarily maybe need that, but just in general, less snacking. So even if it's like at night, or in between, like say lunch and supper, that time, less snacking. I've like noticeably, I'm like, damn, you're doing good, Samantha. Like, this is good. And specifically to that, something I noticed this last week, which is really interesting, is I guess I just didn't buy them at the grocery store, or that was maybe a part I consciously or subconsciously recognized, like bars, like protein bars. I love those barbell bars. They are so delicious. They taste like a candy bar. I'm sorry if you now go find those and eat a bunch of them. RX bars are one of my favorite. So I generally have bars on hand, and I would say like was having probably one a day most times to like snack or fuel when I was getting hangry. And there's nothing wrong with these. I really want to say this. Like, I'm a fan of protein bars. I'm a fan of using these bars to help get in the fuel we do need and the protein we do need. And I know this has happened for my clients, and I now can recognize this for myself. Like, I was using them too much, and what was happening was, I can see this now, was like I could have a bar because I was like so hungry, maybe like post-workout or pre-workout, but then I was still having like a full meal. later for supper when like I really didn't need either that full meal. I needed less food, or I should have skipped the bar and just had the full whole foods meal, right? So when you think about that, that ends up being 200, 250 extra calories almost a day. And again, I probably wasn't having it every day, but you can see how that would add up. Or in this case, now that I'm in a cut, like taking away, right? So that was a big thing I noticed, is really like I haven't bought that many bars at the store. I haven't wanted them. I haven't been eating them nearly as much. And I still feel fueled for my workouts. I feel fine. Really been focusing on eating like more. I think I maybe shared this in my last video, more good foods, like more whole real foods. So like fruit for my pre-workout instead of a bar. I had a pear one time last week. It was delicious. Little mini mandarin oranges as like pre-workout fuel, or with my lunch as my carb. Focusing on just like fresh, farmers market salads, and even like I got some English muffins. That was something new and different that I did. I haven't had those in forever, and they were on sale at the grocery store. So I was like, ooh, let me do this whole wheat English muffins, and I think they were wheat cinnamon raisin. So I've been having that, say, like with my salad or with my eggs as my carb. So really just focusing on like and I share this with my clients, like 3 full meals in your day, maybe 1 snack, but really focusing on like the 3 meals and not snacking in between. And those meals being like really whole, rich, real foods. And just to share on this too, so I feel like chips from the first week or two it was like, I was good. I was ready for this challenge, and I really am like motivated to do the cut. But I was also like, like after the first week, I was like noticeably like wanted to reach for the chips. Second week, it was a little bit less. And oh yeah, that's right. I had some pretzels as like my like not chips, but something close. Second week was kind of pretzels, and still kind of wanting to like have them maybe just a couple times, not nearly as much. And then now I'm like, holy shit, I didn't even like think about pretzels or chips like this last week. Like just not even thinking about it like at all. And same with mayo. Like, you guys, I love my mayo. And even I was motivated overall, which made me not want to have the mayo, but there's definitely a couple times. And I got creative actually this last week where I was like, I didn't even want the mayo. I wanted something I'm like a saucy girl. Like I like me some sauce or some like, something to dip in. Like that's I love that. Something to dip, sauce to put on any meal, or dip my sandwich even in. So I was like, but instead I was like, I don't even want or need the mayo right now. Like, so I made a tuna salad and found a new recipe that I used some mustard, and I was out of lemon, but I'm going to get some fresh lemon to do a little squeeze of fresh lemon, a little mustard. I put the celery right in it instead of relish. And what else? There's something else. Or celery, not celery, cucumber, and some feta cheese. And I just mixed that up. I kind of like did a modified version of this recipe I found, but I was like totally satisfied and fine with that. I did not even like need the mayo. So that's also like really like big movement and wins is like, and I really want to point this out for you guys in this way that like when you're evaluating what's working, notice I'm not just saying I lost a pound, moving on, or I lost 3 pounds, whatever, like, and moving on. Notice that? Do you see in my evaluation, what I'm doing is I am seriously seeing what worked in all the ways. Meaning it's not just about the scale. It's not just about that number on the scale going down. It's about recognizing all of these wins that we didn't even, my wonderful client. And she was like, there was a cookie the other week. She is so deep in her transformation too, and her results that like there was a cookie that sat on the table, and normally she would have gobbled it up, right, and reach straight for it. And she like, it sat there all day and she didn't think 2 things of it. Just was like, it's a cookie. It's a cookie sitting on the table, factually, right? She didn't have thoughts of like, oh my God, I want that so bad, but I can't have it. Or oh man, I'm hungry. I want this cookie right now. It's just like a microwave sitting on the counter. That's all it was. Right? So we need to recognize those wins. So check in with yourself. Are you recognizing those wins too? Not just like, oh, I lost a pound or not, right? All of these things matter. Okay. All right. So those are my wins overall. And actually, and I will say here too with this, I just posted about this morning and it's like, I feel so light. I feel more energized. I feel more confident because I'm doing my plan. So I have my own back. So I'm really I'm doing I'm doing what I say I'm going to do, which makes me just feel so like trusting myself inside even more deeply. Right. And again, this is not me being perfect. This is not like I didn't have a single mess up, because we're going to go over what didn't work next. Right. But overall, I just feel this new level of confidence, of trust in myself. I feel really fucking sexy and good, like about my body. I'm like loving it. Just again, this is like 3 pounds, you guys. This is like, which on me is visible. Like you can see that difference. But regardless, it's like, right? We all know when we've dropped a few pounds and we're feeling better about ourselves. So, yeah, which feels amazing too, just with summer. Like it's so hot out, and I'm just wearing like the least amount of clothes that I can to for this summer, because I feel good in my clothes and in my body right now, and it's hot AF. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make sure I don't have to wear extra clothes because it's hot outside, and I'm feeling freaking amazing about my body. So that's a win too. Those are some really intangible wins, we call those, where it's like, no, again, it's not the number on the scale, but you know what? It feels fucking good. And I feel really motivated. I'm like rubbing my hands together, like, okay, all right, we've got some really good results. And now I'm ready. Like I'm feeling so good to really get after it these next 3 weeks. Okay. So, okay, we're getting on some time here. I'm going to try and speed this up. So what didn't work? So I've really been working to have less carbs, and that was a part of my plan last week, to only have the carbs around my workouts. And I still had carbs with the meals, not every meal, but I still would say there was definitely 2 or 3 days that stand out to me, like my rest day where I didn't work out and I still had carbs. And maybe it would be okay to have, carbs with 2 of those meals or even 1 of those meals, but I did not stick to my plan as far as that goes. I would say, by really reflecting back, I would say I give myself like a 60% on that one, maybe. So which is fine, but if I want to really see some results, I know I'm going to have to do some things different to hit 134 or less. I haven't seen 133 in a while. So I know I'm going to have to do some things different, like for real. So my goal this week will truly be to hit that less carbs goal, like only having them around my workouts, 85%. Like I know I've got to hit that number to be able to see the scale go down and really be at that 134 and oh yeah, this is our new normal. This is where we're going. Okay. And then I still noticed there was 2 days of some overeating, especially one night when I was tired at the end of the night with the boys. And probably because I also may not have ate enough during the day. But in general, I got done with the boys, was tired, hungry for snacking and to help me go to sleep. And so there was I am not remembering the other night, but there was at least one day, maybe another day, where there was still some overeating. So that's what I put for what I want to do different this week. Those are the big things I noticed of what didn't work. Okay. And so what I want to do different this week, I already talked about the carbs part. I already talked about my mindset too. Of like, I'm really recognizing, okay, we've gotten this far, made some great results and changes, and I'm really feeling good about them. It's sustainable. But what I really want to do is be consistent all 7 days of the week. So that's where I was like at that 80% versus like there was those one, maybe 2 nights where like I was still, I was tired, so I overate kind of a thing. So I really want to be consistent 7 days a week and not allow that. And then I have a plan to help support that. So I'm really, again, leaning on more protein and more veggies. I want to really fill up my meals, the 3 meals that I have, maybe plus whatever fueling for around training. But I really want to make those like deliciously like full of like lean protein and veggies, just like loaded up more of the good stuff. So that way, come the end of the night, I'm not hungry. And yeah, I'm not hungry, that I know like I've eaten enough and I'm consistent. I'm more consistent then. And then also, so the boys are out of town this week. So I'm not going to have that happen where, as parents, we can get stressed and tired and all that. But even without that, like I still want to have a plan. So when it is that, I will be working on this week, like what am I going to do when I feel that tiredness and I want to relax, or I feel that hunger because I'm a little stressed. What do I want to do instead? Do I want to go for a little walk? I have my little indoor treadmill now that I'm seeing it right now. Do I want to make some tea? Do I want to take a shower or a bath? What am I going to do? Do I want to listen to a positive motivational video, right? I want to solve for that so that 1 or 2 nights that there's little something extra, I'm actually solving for the problem instead of eating, right? So you guys can check in with that too. What is the actual problem you need to solve for versus like making a spiral out about like, I can never like follow through on this nutrition thing, and this nutrition stuff is so hard and the eating part is so hard. And it's like, well, is the eating part hard? Is your life really freaking stressful and the kids are hard? Okay, this is real life. We can be real with each other here, right? I get it. Ask my partner, ask the boys, right? I'm a freaking real mom over here. So check in. Or maybe it's your work. Like if work is super stressful right now and you've got a lot of projects or whatever it is, or your relationship is, what do you need to actually solve for? Okay. Instead of trying to solve that problem with food. All right. Let's see. I think that's it. Okay, good. We're not going too far, too deep into this. So that's my evaluation from this past week. So starting week 4 with the cut, I'm still super stoked, still super motivated, feeling really good. Really light, really energized. And so yeah, let's go. So I hope you guys take any lessons, tips, and tools from this for whatever you're working on. And if you need support and you want to start to get results in your life, then you can come join me and join all of us in the Ultra Life coaching program, where you get one-on-one coaching and group coaching. You get 24/7 access to all of the modules that you can listen to anytime to pull you out of wherever you're feeling stuck. You get written coaching, right? You get the community and support of being with other people going after the similar or same goal as you. So we work together towards this, and you actually have somebody that gets it. Instead of maybe like your partner or your best friend or your friend who's like, hey, why are you not eating? Or why are you eating a salad? Instead of like, oh, good for you, right? You get the support here. So if this is something or I do have spots for one-on-one coaching right now, if you just want my full undivided personalized attention. We have weekly phone calls once a week for one-on-one coaching. So if either of those are something you're interested in, then you can go into the show notes and book your free consult call where we will hop on a call to see, are we a good fit? Tell me about what's going on, and I will share how I can literally help you to solve those problems. And we will get after it. And you guys will get your own transformation, right? So I cannot wait to see you guys next week. And I hope you have an amazing start to your week.